Hey there, how's everyone doing? We're glad to have people here from all over the world. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the family. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So what's been going on in Syria lately is a whole lot of tension, especially with everything happening in Israel too. You already know Israel took over Mount Hermon and is constantly entering Quneitra, even parts of Daraa. They come and go like they own the place, and no one says a thing. And then there's Ahmad al-Sharaa, the so-called de facto leader, or al-Jolani. He was just in Aleppo 2 days ago holding what looked like a conference, saying, "We've gotten rid of the tyrants, and now it's time to fight poverty." That sounds nice and all. Yes, of course we need to fight poverty. But what about the news from the occupied Syrian south? Nothing. Not a word. Last night, while Jolani was chilling in the People's Palace, Israeli warplanes launched an attack on Syria's coast, hitting both Tartous and Latakia ports. And according to Israel itself, they admitted to the strikes.
Yes, we carried out the airstrikes.
Multiple news sources reported on it, from the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights to Israeli media like Yedioth Ahronoth. And what was Israel's excuse this time? They said they were targeting coastal missiles and ground-to-air missile components that supposedly posed a huge threat to international navigation and Israeli security.
Wow, what a convenient justification, right? They're trying to give their attack some kind of legal cover. Like, oh, there are dangerous weapons in Syria that might threaten ships, so we had to strike. Give me a break. Suddenly, the Israeli heart is oh so fragile, worried about international shipping lanes. Please?
But this strike was intense, especially in Latakia, where they bombed the 107th Brigade headquarters. And in Tartous, they hit what used to be a special forces base, plus some areas in the industrial zone. So what does this tell us? That Israel's claim about only targeting military bases or missile sites is just not true. They're also hitting basic infrastructure, places that don't even have weapons. That tells you Israel doesn't want any kind of military infrastructure left in Syria. It's not just about the threat of weapons. They don't even want the possibility of a future base being set up. And what's even more suspicious? Yedioth Ahronoth reported that this wasn't just any strike. This was the biggest Israeli airstrike on Syria since the beginning of the year. They hit 20 different targets last night, not just Latakia and Tartous, but also Hama, Daraa, and even Damascus.
Yeah, that's right. Damascus while Jolani was fast asleep, totally unaware. I swear, the man didn't even notice. He didn't say a word.
The Syrian government, also dead silent, not a single statement or comment from them yet.
It's like that song, "I'm just pretending to be asleep." Seriously, it's bizarre. I mean, how can a country be hit with 20 airstrikes, including direct hits on its military infrastructure, and still not issue a statement? What? Are they all still asleep? Thinking about what to say?
According to the UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, one person was killed and several were injured. So this idea that Israel is only targeting precise military sites? Yeah, not true. But here's where things get really interesting and weird. This strike came right after the first indirect talks between Syria and Israel. Syria even admitted that such talks had happened.
And Jolani, trying to show goodwill and transparency, handed over the belongings of Eli Cohen, the Israeli spy, back to Israel. By the way, I did a full video about Eli Cohen on my channel Al-Wathika with Mohammed Assem. All the videos there are brand new. Anyway, sorry for rambling. I didn't mean to throw too much at you. Back to the point. These indirect talks happened, and Jolani tried to show good faith. Then Israel suddenly launches this massive airstrike. So what does that mean?
It could mean one of two things. There was a secret agreement between Israel and the Syrian side, Jolani or whoever, where they said, okay, you can hit this location, that one, and the other one, and Israel went ahead. I wouldn't rule that out. Or there wasn't any agreement, and the talks were still ongoing, and Israel just decided to bomb anyway to serve its own goals. If the second scenario is true, where Jolani didn't agree to anything, then he's basically being played. But if it's the first, and there was some hidden deal, then that opens up a whole new conversation about what kind of leadership we're dealing with here. What this really means is that Israel is basically saying, we've got red lines. Whether you're in talks with us or not, we're gonna hit you. If you've got any kind of military infrastructure, we'll strike. They're scared, panicking.
Then after a while, a group came storming in. They dragged my husband and my brother away right in front of me and my kids. He asked them, "Where are you taking them?" They told him, "We'll bring them back to you." He said, "Please, ma'am, we'll return them to you." Then they took him just a little further down, in front of the house, and shot him. After that, they came back and told us, "Get out of the house. You're Alawites, you're pigs, you're enemies of God." Then they burned the house down.
After Syria collapsed, and after everything that's happened, and I'm talking after Bashar, it really makes me want to ask just one question. Yes, Bashar is a tyrant. He's done terrible things, and we all know the truth. But would Israel have ever dared to launch this many attacks back in the day? No way. Sure, Israel used to carry out airstrikes during Bashar al-Assad's time, hitting Syrian targets. But back then, we'd always see anti-air missiles being fired back, Syrian air defenses launching surface-to-air missiles at Israeli planes. And remember when Israel once attacked Iran? They had to use all kinds of tricks and decoys to confuse the Syrian air defense systems. But now, the skies are wide open. Israel does whatever it wants, no resistance.
Now here's the real kicker. This latest strike happened right after the U.S. envoy to Syria, Thomas Barak, visited and spoke about constructive talks and said there was optimism.
So you're telling me that right after the U.S. envoy was in Damascus talking peace and progress, Israel hits with airstrikes? That totally kills the credibility of American diplomacy.
Barak literally just said from Damascus that positive things are happening.
So where is that positivity now? Israel launched an attack right afterward. And listen to this. Israel Katz, an Israeli official, came out and said in a televised statement, "There will be no immunity for anyone, and no threats to Israel will be tolerated."
Now that's what you'd call a message to the neighbors.
Could be that he's also firing shots at Turkey. There might be tensions between Israel and Turkey. And maybe he's saying this because Jolani is backed by Erdogan. That's possible.
It could also be a message to the whole region. We're the gangsters here.
Anyway, Israel Katz is known for having violent, aggressive policies. He's even more extreme than Yoav Gallant, who already stepped down. So what we're seeing now is a very serious and aggressive escalation.
Another incident happened just last night in Quneitra. Israeli patrols were moving through in military vehicles. Yeah, I'm serious. And one of the vehicles had the Israeli flag flying on it. Locals surrounded it and forced them to take the flag down. This happened yesterday, during the day. Did Syria issue a statement condemning that? No. Will Syria say anything today? I hope they speak up. But sadly, what's happening right now perfectly shows the current state of Syria. And I know some folks, like the Sultan's women, a sarcastic jab at regime supporters, won't like what I'm saying. They'll come back and say, "Oh, so you want Syria to collapse?" But Syria's already broken. What more do you want? It's already fallen apart on its own. It's just really heartbreaking when you compare today's Syria to how it was years ago. There's no comparison. Just look at what